Here in chapter 7, 10 through 16, Isaiah tells King Ahaz that he doesn't need to fear his enemies, Israel and Syria. Let's look at this conversation using the clearest translations we can find. We'll begin with the contemporary English version in verses 10 through 11. Once again, the Lord God spoke to King Ahaz. This time he said, "Ask me for proof that my promise will come true. Ask for something to happen deep in the world of the dead or high in the heavens above." But the king refused. "No," he said, "I will not test the Lord like that." Ahaz has no intention of believing anything Isaiah says, so he's using a teaching from Moses as a ruse. Moses said, "Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God." But since when did Ahaz trust anything in the scriptures? This is a man who caused 2 of his own sons to pass through the fires of Baal. He is wholly wicked and murderous. But now he pretends to fear displeasing God, so he's hiding behind a veil of pretense. Then Isaiah said, "Listen, every one of you in the royal family of David. You have already tried my patience. Now you are trying God's patience by refusing to ask for proof. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, the young woman shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." This is one of the most studied passages in the scriptures. Christians believe it's a promise of Christ's birth, but many Jews think it was a promise that a woman right there in the king's entourage would bear a son, which it also was. But as all that Isaiah spake shall be, it is also a promise of a future son who will redeem Zion in the last days. Let's look at these 3 promises. 700 years after Isaiah made this prophecy, the Virgin Mary did in fact conceive and give birth to Jesus Christ. As Matthew says, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins." Now, all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, "Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel," which being interpreted is, God with us. Yes, this prophecy was fulfilled with Christ's birth. But how was that a sign to Ahaz 700 years before? Ahaz needed to see proof then, or at least within a year. So it seems that a certain young woman there with King Ahaz would need to conceive and bear a son. Based on scriptural evidence, it seems that this was Ahaz's own son, Hezekiah, who would grow to be a man whose faith would cause the sun to turn back 10 degrees, whose prayers would save Jerusalem from falling to the Assyrians, and whose faith was so great that his own life would be extended 15 years. According to the Davidic covenant, because God was with King Hezekiah, God would be with the king's people, making Hezekiah an Emmanuel, or God with us. As for the last days, we know that a servant of the Lord will come forth to redeem Zion, and he will be called David. Here are just a few scriptures. "I, Jehovah, will be their God, and my servant David a prince among them. David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd, and my servant David shall be their prince forever." Likewise, Joseph Smith said, "The throne and kingdom of David is to be taken from him, and given to another by the name of David in the last days, raised up out of his lineage." According to John the Beloved, this man would come forth from the church, a church John referred to as a woman. Then this man would be raised up to heaven, where he would be endowed with power to rule all nations with a rod of iron. According to Isaiah, the sons who fulfilled this prophecy would eat butter or curds and honey, which was the food of nomads. And they would do this before they were mature enough to choose good over evil. Hezekiah ate this food as a child when Assyria invaded Judah, making food scarce. Jesus did this when his parents took him on a journey to Egypt. And the latter-day servant will do this when he is forced to live in the wilderness for a time before he is called up to heaven, before he goes forth in power. And before they go forth in power, their enemies would be removed, as their land would be forsaken of both her kings. The kings of Syria and Israel were removed when Hezekiah was a boy. Jesus' enemies in Jerusalem, including King Herod, were removed when Christ was a boy. And in the last days, at least some of the Latter-day Servant's enemies will also be removed before he goes forth. Remember, all of this is found in Isaiah's timeline for the last days. Next time, we'll see how Isaiah's prophecy of an Assyrian invasion of the Promised Land applies to both his day and to the last days. I'm Curtis Taylor with the Words of Isaiah.